TV Success After Lockdown in the building with Michael Marshall, Muhammad, and the sister straight out of the Bay, Myeshia.
Hey
So I just want
y'all.
to say it's good to meet you.
Good
And
afternoon,
look,
everyone.
It is good.
nervous about what? We
Yeah,
all we
I'm about
all
to say
we
the
all
same
come from the
thing.
same story. We
That's
all
it.
come from the same story.
Actually, I've been in like a place where I'm trying to find my people. And so it's people
Absolutely.
like y'all that I feel like are my people. So I don't really do a lot of camera time, and I'm not really social when it comes to, my story or anything like that. I did do an interview a while ago, and I felt like the interview for me was a little shaky because I felt like I thought I was ready to step on that camera, and I wasn't because it was not my, what can I say? How can I say it? It wasn't my lane, It wasn't my lane. I
Absolutely.
felt like I had to explain more of like a mental way based on what am I doing today? What am I doing life after Chachilla? What am I doing today? So I think nervous for me is really stepping on scene with people like you guys from all around the world who've been through what I've been through, who understand clearly what I'm going through. And so like for me it's just like a village. A village. It,
Absolutely.
it it's not
Absolutely.
that. It's not that much around me. So I'm honored to be on camera with people who understand and people who get it and people who like understand that incarceration doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you made some mistakes. What you do after that, now that's the story. That's the continuum.
That's right. Don't look at us as our last felony. Don't define us as our last felony because we
Come
more
on
than that.
now.
Yeah, but
You
it's
know.
it's
Come
So
one
on
let's.
now.
it's one thing I want to reiterate, Maisha, is that in the groups that I facilitate, right, I try
Yeah.
to excommunicate certain language, right?
Yeah.
Um, for me, the word mistake is like not taking accountability. I always say poor
Yes.
choices, right? I say poor choices all
Yes.
the time because the choices that we make, I don't make mistakes. I make poor choices, right?
Mhm.
It's not like I didn't mean to do what I did. I just got caught doing it,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So I took full accountability in doing that, and every time I step forward, I'm either going to
Totally.
make a good choice, I'm going to make a bad choice. Either way it is,
Mhm.
either one
That's
is right.
right.
Yes.
But choices will be made. Let's make
Exactly.
this
Choices
choice
will
right
be
now.
made.
Let's get
Yes.
into it. So let's talk about Maisha. Let's go back, way back in the time, if we could. Just give our followers, our family, a sense of who Maisha is, where you come from.
Um.
How was your upbringing? One parent home, two parent home. Talk about it.
Oh. Well, I'm from
Yeah,
Richmond, California. I'm just a girl that grew up on the South Side. It's crazy because I grew up in a one parent household, just my mom taking care of three kids, me, my sister, and my brother. All our dads was incarcerated in prison. My dad went away when I was 3, and he just actually got out while I was going into prison a while back. So
Mm.
he did 27 years. So I was in a one parent household. I never ever seen a two-parent household. However, my mom, um, since I was 7 years old, my mom basically, I was exposed to seeing why I was in a household with one parent, and we were like the kids growing up on the South Side. We were like the kid. My mama was like the neighborhood hero, right? We had everything. I grew up spoiled. I had it my way. I didn't
no
know what
question.
struggle was. I didn't know what that type of stuff was, and I was in the hood. I was in the trenches or whatever, and I didn't know what the struggle was because I had everything. So my mom took care of us to the best of her ability being a single parent, and my mom was in the game. My mom went through the phases in life of getting money to take care of mine by all means, no matter what I got to do. So I seen my mom selling dope, and I was there. I seen my mom in the game, and I seen it all. So
Absolutely.
for me, it was hard to understand back then, how life was so made for me. It was hard for me to understand the twists and the turns. It wasn't until my mom actually, called a case and life got real that I finally
Mm,
knew, hey, something was wrong. So I can honestly say I grew up, man, I grew up spoiled. I grew up spoiled. Life for me changed. I say when I was 17, I say going on 18, and my first time hearing my mom say she couldn't for us. You know, my mom beat an 18-year sentence, and was told that if she do anything else, her kid's gonna be took, and she took the road of I'm done with the game, I'm out. And
Mm,
so for the first time of me hearing the word no, I was like, that don't sound familiar. You know, we not used to that, and that was when I took my turn.
right,
So I say up
right,
until that point, life was good. Life was made for me. You know, I was
right.
still to this day. You know, people tell me all the time, man. Remember, I used to tell you, I wish I had a mama like yours. I wish I had a mama like yours, and she was just one person. You know, she was
So
just one person.
how was it growing up in school for you?
I was honestly, I had good grades, but I messed up. I got kicked out of different schools growing up. Um, I think for me, I was more the girl in the neighborhood. Like I was down. Like I was down.
Yeah.
My mama wasn't a mama that wasn't on her stuff to where you can go to school and be acting up. No, she on her stuff. But me, that's what it was for me. The girl that's just down. I'm the girl on the south side that's just down. So whatever my friends on, that's what we on. So
Did you
school
graduate?
school. I did. I graduated actually in the county jail in 2013 from Five Keys Charter School. I did not graduate on time because of my, you know,
Behavior.
choices I
The
made, choices I
choices, yeah.
made back then. But however, I did turn it around and I graduated in the San Francisco County Jail. I got my high school diploma in 2013.
No
So
question.
yeah, it played
Congratulations.
it played out it played out after the fact, but it was well worth it.
No question. That's what this is. That's our life journey. Everybody had
Mhm.
their own
Yes,
life journey. So
yes,
I grew up in that one parent home as well, with my father being locked up at a young age. I
yes.
remember 5 years old going to see my father upstate,
Woo!
my mother taking me to see him. I remember my
Yes,
mother in the game. I remember my mother selling and using drugs. You know what I mean? I always had my grandmother too. That was like the nucleus. Did you have a grandma around? And how was that like too?
my mother passed, so I did have my dad,
Okay.
mom. So I was just like you. I was in and out of prison seeing my dad from the moment he left.
Yeah.
So that was from what 5 years old and up. I was on the road with my grandma, my dad, mom, and my stepmom and my siblings, and I was up on that road. I was up on that road, and I remember going in them visits. And my dad did a lot of parenting from the jail, from prison. He didn't stop. I had continuous letters. I had continuous support. Even though he wasn't there physically, he was definitely there mentally, and also dealing with dealing with a 27-year sentence himself. He was parenting at the best of his ability. But a lot of the financial and the hardships was put on my mother. So I
No
think from
question.
the age of 7, I was just seeing this lady, having so much money and taking care of the world around her. And I was just like, ooh, my mama's my hero. So she can do it, I
Facts.
can do it. So when life started getting rough, I was like, I can't. Me and my siblings not used to the word no. We not used to seeing Christmas trees stacked up to the ceiling and presents, and we not used to that. And um, I can honestly say that I would never thought that the choices I was making back then would lead me to where it led me to. But I can honestly say, my story has been very beautiful. The way that I look at it
Absolutely.
now, when you clean it up and you hold yourself accountable, like Michael said, when you clean it up and you hold yourself accountable, you find the beauty of it.
So let's
Because
go through that.
yeah, you
Pardon me
Yeah.
find
for
the
Yeah.
cutting
beauty
you
of
off.
it. It's
Pardon me
okay.
for cutting you off,
No, you
because I
didn't.
wanna get up to that beauty. I want us to see
The
that beauty
beauty.
because I know it's something beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Can you go through what led you to what led you to prison? Know what I'm saying? What you in
Yeah.
that time you were in there, how you felt before
Well,
we get to the
I
beauty.
yeah. So, I actually had my son at 21 years old, and I was incarcerated a few months later. And
Mm,
I caught my first drug case, my first robbery case, all in one. I caught that case over in San Francisco. It's crazy because our vice president, Miss Kamala Harris, was my district attorney. She sentenced me at that young age to 3
Wow.
years prison sentence in the county jail with my first strike, right? And I was scared. I was like, man, normally throughout my way in life, I can call my mama real quick. Something going on, I could call mom so I can figure it out. I can go hustle it out. And I was in this place, and that was my first time being incarcerated. And when I tell y'all, it's a dark place to be, but it's some light, right? Because now I'm running into all these different people from different walks of life. And I'm hearing these different stories and these different childhood traumas, and I'm running into these good people, and they in this place just like me, right? And
Absolutely.
that was right then and there. I learned how to survive on my own, right? Because even when I was out here hustling and in the game, I still had moms to run back to. One call away, moms is there. So I always had something to lean back on, or to answer my questions and to help me when them tears falling. And I got somebody, right? But now it's just me. It's just me in the jail cell, right? And so I had to figure it out. And it was hard. I remember spending a lot of nights crying, you know, and right then and there, I knew that this was the place that was gonna, if I should say, turn me up in up here. Cause I start having to figure it out. I start seeing women go to the showers with their stuff and their hygiene kits, and I have to figure out a pattern now. Now I'm on my own, right?
Mm.
And so when I stopped having that guard up, I allowed other women in there to come close to me, to sit next to me, to come within my space. And those are women who have walked this path a long time. They've been to juvenile halls. I ain't never been to juvie, right? But now they showing me how to walk day by day in here. And not only are they showing me, I have to use not only the strength and tools that I've seen, because I've seen independence. I've seen a whole woman raise 2 girls and a boy in the house by herself. I've seen what can be done.